Gojo vs Sakuna
Spoiler
is
alert.
surely going to break the internet. Today we will discuss this fight from the manga. Now let's get back to the video. We saw in Season 2 that Geto, along with his fellows, trapped Gojo in the prison realm. Gojo emerged from it in chapter 221. After getting out of the prison realm, Gojo faced Sukuna. They both decided that they would fight on December 24th. The craze for this fight was on the next level, not just in real life, but also in the Jujutsu world. This fight was broadcasted live. You can gauge the craze by the fact that over 5 billion yen in business was done over this fight, which is around 33 million US dollars in total. By the way, whom are you going to bet on? Tell us in the comment section. A barrier is a must for this fight, so Gojo gave this task to Kiyotaka Ijichi. Ijichi asked him why he was chosen when there are people who can make barriers better than him. Gojo replied that he trusts him. Finally, the time had arrived, and Gojo and Sukuna stood face to face. Gojo used Hollow Purple. This attack hit Sukuna and threw him away. It caused large destruction to the surroundings, but it didn't do any major damage to Sukuna. Sukuna told Gojo that he is like a fish. No matter how much it flutters, it will still be killed in the end. To which Gojo says that even if Sukuna looks like Megumi, he should not think that Gojo won't kill him. "I will definitely kill you. I have killed someone with a face like yours in the past," he said, referring to Toji. Now the hand-to-hand combat fight started. Here, Gojo was doing better than Sukuna. If Gojo has Limitless, then how is Sukuna able to touch Gojo? How is hand-to-hand combat even happening? Well, it is because of Domain Amplification. Here we are explained that Domain Amplification is more refined and developed than simple Domain. The user cannot use their innate technique while using this. The plus point is that the opponent's cursed technique also gets poured into the space. Using this, Sukuna nullified Gojo's Limitless, and also Sukuna cannot use his innate technique. People here are discussing that, with the help of Six Eyes, Gojo will never run out of cursed energy. After hearing this, Yuta replied that he has more cursed energy than Gojo, and Sukuna has more than double the cursed energy than him. So don't even think that their cursed energy will run out. The fight took an interesting twist when both used their domain expansion. First, let's talk about domain expansion. Sukuna's domain expansion name is Malevolent Shrine. On the other hand, Gojo's domain expansion name is Unlimited Void. In domain expansion, your attack will surely hit the opponent, which is obviously quite dangerous. Gojo's domain expansion has a barrier, so if you're stuck there, you will die for sure. The interesting twist here is that Sukuna's domain expansion has an area instead of a barrier. It's like holding water without a bottle, a painting without canvas, running software without B hardware. Now both used domain expansion at the same time. It was to be seen whose domain expansion would break first. Whoever's did would be hit because the other's attack would surely hit the opponent in its domain. Here, Sukuna's domain is bigger than Gojo's because it has no barrier, which resulted in destroying Gojo's domain because of the pressure from outside. After this, Sukuna started hitting Gojo using his slashing technique. Gojo somehow used his reverse curse technique to heal himself. Many people questioned that if Sukuna's domain has no barrier, why not just run and get out of there? Well, if your domain breaks, you can't use your innate technique for some time. This was the reason why Gojo couldn't run from Sukuna's domain. Despite this, Gojo was fighting back, dodging Sukuna's hits and healing at the same time. Gojo couldn't stand more against Sukuna due to his domain. That's why he cast Simple Domain. Simple Domain can save Gojo from Sukuna's sure hit attacks for a very limited time. It also gives you time to heal. Everyone's talking about how Gojo isn't using his reverse curse technique to heal himself anymore. Some fans speculated that maybe Gojo ran out of cursed energy, but that's not the case, and you'll see why soon. In the next scene, Gojo gives Sukuna a surprise hug. Sorry, Gojo fangirls, and then, while sitting on Sukuna's lap, he unleashes a barrage of reversal red attacks. These attacks not only injure Sukuna, but also shatter his domain, setting Gojo free. So now Gojo's back in action, but this raises a question. If Sukuna's domain just shattered, how could Gojo cast a red attack on Sukuna? Well, it turns out that while in his simple domain, Gojo wasn't focusing on healing himself. Instead, he was channeling his energy to restore his curse technique. He managed to regain his innate technique just in time, which allowed him to break free from Sukuna's shrine. As the battle heats up, Sukuna starts expanding his domain again. At the same time, Gojo casts his Unlimited Void domain. But this time, Gojo flips the script. He strengthens the domain from the outside, making it more vulnerable from the inside, a complete reversal of their earlier encounter when Sukuna broke through Gojo's domain from the outside. Gojo's domain is holding up pretty well, but then the fists start flying. Gojo notices something unusual. Sukuna is using domain amplification along with domain expansion, which is typically not possible for others. Sukuna cleverly positions himself back-to-back with Gojo to dodge the unlimited void. To take down Gojo's domain from the outside, Sukuna extends his effective range and powers up his binding vow even more than he did back in Shibuya. Essentially, he's mirroring Gojo's tactic, which leads to the collapse of Gojo's domain. Once Gojo's domain is down, he starts taking hits from Sukuna again. But Gojo's not out of tricks yet. He mentions a technique from his childhood, Falling Blossom Emotion. It's a secret curse technique passed down through 3 prestigious families, designed as an anti-domain measure that's particularly effective against simpler domains. It repels anyone who tries to make contact. While it's not a match for complex domains like the Unlimited Void, Sukuna's domain, with its straightforward slashing attacks, could be vulnerable to it. Although it doesn't block all of Sukuna's onslaught, it gives Gojo the precious moments he needs to heal. Everyone thought Gojo would create a larger domain than Sukuna's to envelop it and prevent Sukuna from breaking through. But there's a catch. The larger the domain, the lower the chance of a sure hit, so the bigger you make the domain, the less effective it becomes. Gojo, much smarter than others, didn't make his domain larger than Sukuna's. He made it smaller, no bigger than a basketball. You might wonder how someone could fit into such a small space. Well, the inner and outer sizes of a domain are different. From the outside, it's as small as a football, but on the inside, it can be as vast as an entire battlefield. It's the perfect example of not judging something by its size. To counter this small yet mighty domain, Sukuna condensed his domain and aggressively used a slashing technique to try and destroy Gojo's domain. Sukuna's plan worked. He managed to crack Gojo's domain and finally break it. Everyone feared that Gojo was finished, but he had other ideas. When Gojo's domain shattered, Sukuna's malevolent shrine also collapsed. This happened because the one maintaining a domain must also be in good condition. While Sukuna was focused on breaking Gojo's domain, Gojo was simultaneously attacking Sukuna, weakening him to the point where he couldn't. And they both began healing their cursed techniques, ready to continue their epic confrontation. During the intense clash, both Gojo and Sukuna performed domain expansion again. However, Yuta observed that Gojo might have activated his domain just a hair earlier than Sukuna, by merely 0.01 seconds. This slight edge was likely because Sukuna needed extra time to heal himself. As a result of this minuscule but critical difference, Gojo's unlimited void attack struck Sukuna. The battle lasted 2 minutes and 40 seconds, with Gojo gaining the upper hand. Unlike before, Gojo's domain remained intact while Sukuna's domain shattered, leaving Sukuna vulnerable to the unlimited void attack. Everyone believed Gojo had triumphed and was on the verge of defeating Sukuna. But in a dramatic turn, Sukuna unleashed its ultimate move, Maharaga. That's it for today. If this video gets 10,000 likes, I will make another part of it. We are so close to monetize our channel, so please help us to get there and we will deliver you exciting content regularly.